Hey, this is Ava Unit 4A. Well, here it is, 2 days after Christmas 2010. I suppose I should make another vlog entry now, huh? Well, first of all, thank you very much to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I got 122 subs inside of 4 weeks. That's pretty awesome. Actually, I started my YouTube channel December 8th, which was a couple of days before I posted my video review of the Starship Legends Enterprise D. So, woohoo! Oh, by the way, it didn't click for me until a couple of days after I posted it. My Enterprise video runs 47 minutes. Oh my god! Yes! The cult of 47 lives! So, yeah, thanks to everybody for signing up. Those of you who are sending friend invites, I haven't deleted all of them. It's just, I don't know who any of you are. There's a couple of you I've already friended, because I knew you previously from the CDX channel and even from YouTube, so I know a couple of you. I've friended a few of you, as you can clearly see on the channel. But as to new people, honestly, I'm not going to friend you unless I know who you are and I've interacted with you a little bit. So simply signing up is not going to get you a friend invite, okay? Or I'm not even going to sign up. So, yeah, okay, whatever. I just posted my movie masterpiece series Starscream videos. What was it, day before yesterday. I was hoping to get them out the day before Christmas, but it's the day before Christmas, you know. I can't believe it. I had like 116 minutes unedited footage for the modes review. Not the transformation. Transformation was about 23 minutes, so it didn't take that long. Actually, it was more like 25. Anyways, that first video, that was totally ridiculous. Like, I said it in the little subtitles there. I said that I deleted a section that had to deal with comparing Starscream, you know, the Leader class Starscream to Voyager class Mixmaster because, you know, Voyager Mixmaster is an appropriate size for Optimus Prime compared to Starscream, and that he's not really in scale with anything else because he's kind of in a scale on his own. But it just, it didn't work out. I didn't have time. I mean, it was running 55 minutes. Something had to go. I'm also sorry that it's also kind of I felt that I didn't do the comic book review on the inside of the modes review. I actually did go into this whole thing about, oh look, there's a whole bunch of Nest Global Alliance characters in here, and they do this and they do that, and Starscream isn't really the focus, and then you can see a lot of, you know, it takes place after Revenge of the Fallen, and yet you see a bunch of Revenge of the Fallen characters who clearly died in that movie appearing in this comic. You know, what's up with that? So that had to go. I kind of chopped that early. I'm sorry, I only got a piece of it. I had to acknowledge it, but I couldn't really spend the time on it I wanted to. I also did a quick look around to the box, but I was like, you know, how often do I do that? Never. Okay, that's going. So there was actually, you know, 3 scenes that had to get chopped there. Oh, and the primary reason I wanted to do vlog number 2 here is I mentioned in both of those videos that, by the way, did you like that Garwalk? Whatever. I mentioned in both videos that I had this 30-minute long rant and commentary at the end of video 1 that I had to cut for time. Actually, I didn't cut it for time. I reshot it because it was running 30 minutes, and I was like, okay, there's no way in hell anybody's going to hang around for 30 minutes. So I reshot it and cut it down to like 9 minutes, and then after that I cut it down in editing to 7 minutes. So it said pretty much everything I wanted to, but the reason it ran so long, thus the point of this vlog, is because I had this whole long thing I did about how I'm kind of a closet Screamer fan, and more prominently, the reason I'm shooting this is because I wanted to talk about my opinions on Bayformers. Now, I seem to be in something of a minority when I say that I really, really, really like the visual style of Bayformers. I'm not talking about which character looks like who. I'm not talking about personality of characters. I'm not even talking about the movies themselves, okay? All I'm talking about really is the special effects that go into making these giant alien robot machine piles of junk walk and move around, okay? That's what I'm talking about. The visual only style of Bayformers, okay? In short, I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's so bold, it's so daring, it's so non-conformal to toy Transformers. Let me put it to you this way. If it had been blocks of ABS that transformed for the first time in that alleyway in Bayformers 1, I don't think it would have had nearly the, and I use this word specifically, magical effect that it did to have an Optimus Prime with 10,104 parts walking around on screen. Okay, it just would not have done it. To have blocky robots in the quote-unquote real world would not have worked for me, and I would have cried foul, and then I would have protested. Yeah, the robots may or may not have looked interesting, but Hollywood allows you to do bigger things, and in order to do a quote-unquote realistic version of Transformers, you kind of have to up the ante a little bit. And the point that I've been making for the last, 3.5 years now, actually it would have been 3 years, whatever, is that we do not know what giant alien shape-changing robots look like. We simply don't. And they have a technology that, understandably, we don't understand. You know, regardless of whether or not they spill energon when they get cut up or they spit on humans, which, by the way, I really didn't like that. Regardless of the humanistic personifications, whatever the hell that means, that goes into these characters, visually they're very striking, and I really, really like them. I like, one of the things that just drove me nuts when I saw it the first time, in Bayformers 1, which I got to see in theaters, Yahoo, was that as in the Witwicky's backyard, the camera swings past Optimus's head as he's talking to Sam in the bedroom there, and you know, he kind of pinches his nose. But the thing that kills me is all the little detail that goes into them. For example, on Optimus, he's got these gears that literally turn on the side of his head whenever he's talking. He even has a toothed gear on the inside of his mouth that looks like teeth that's turning around back and forth. It looks like he's chewing on a retainer or something. Every time I look at it, it's hilarious. I love how they don't have kind of fleshy mouth plates or something like that. That just doesn't work for me. But I love how their mouths and their faces and their hands and even their feet are segmented pieces. I mean, these things are great. The other half of this that trans fans seem to fight the most is that they are so un-Transformers, unlike anything you've seen before. They have very bland color palettes. You know, they don't have a majority color unless they're an Autobot. You know, they have stark yellow, black, neon green, yellow. I said yellow already. They have silver. They have red and blue. Whereas the Decepticons, majority of them are all silvers and grays and blacks, and they have a little bit of gold mixed in there. You know what? Real Transformers in robot form are not going to have color palettes to them. They're just going to be mechanical machines, because at that point, you know, they're not really trying to disguise themselves. I mean, the only reason these robots have red and green and blue and white and yellow and all those things is because of their disguised forms. So since Decepticons usually disguise themselves as vehicles of authority, you know, military, police, on and on, things like that, those are things that don't have strong color palettes on them. They're not going to have a bunch of different colors on them. Barricade was the exception, of course. And the Constructicons, okay, I didn't like the particular colors they used, but hey, they have colors on them. But I really like how Bayformers blend into the world around them. They're not toy-colored characters. They're not toy-colored vehicles. I think the most toy-looking vehicle was probably Optimus Prime. And I'm also one of the even smaller minority who really likes that Optimus Prime had flames on him. I mean, there were frickin' death threats thrown at Michael Bay, which was fucking ridiculous. I don't understand why they did that. But, I mean, if you go out and look at a tractor-trailer that's not owned by a big-name company or even a small-name company, you know, the ones that have been customized or whatever, for example, they do have flames on them. They do have skulls with fire coming out of them. They do have, I don't know what the hell they have. I just know I've seen them, and they have them. And my point is that you know, for Optimus Prime, maybe not flames, but it still works. In vehicle form, it works. In robot form, whatever. You can't usually see it most of the time anyway, so whatever. But being able to blend in with their environment is regardless of what vehicle they are, being able to blend in to their environment is exactly what a Transformer is. That's why they are a robot in disguise. One of the reasons I really like Transformers Cybertron Downshift is because his vehicle form is not a bright, brand new, shiny vehicle. It looks like a car that came out of the 70s or even the late 60s. And then it's painted and then it was done up in colors that are not attractive. It has neon green and black and orange and silver. Now, yeah, that totally works for the character, but you can just imagine seeing a car that old and that big driving around with kind of peeling green on it, or definitely black, and it's got false leather exterior, interiors, things like that. That is one of my favorite Transformers Cybertron toys. Seriously. And to me, that is a very good example of what Bayformers are. Yeah, product placement, blah, blah, blah. I'm not very thrilled with it either. By the way, Bumblebee will never, ever, ever be a Camaro in my mind, okay? So, having them blend into the background, I keep saying this, is really great. And I really, really like how intricately detailed beyond belief these Bayformers are. It's awesome. Something else that I like about Bayformers, I know I'm starting to run out of time here, one of the other things I like about Bayformers is their body shapes. Ratchet, for example, has only 4 fingers. Bumblebee only has 4 fingers. But that was just in the first film. They didn't really do much with it. They had Frenzy, and that was kind of daring, that was kind of interesting. They also had the Nokia bot in the little box in the first movie, who was kind of a spider-like thing. Well, I'm kind of glad they did the spider thing, because that eventually led to a very wide diversity of bot shapes in Revenge of the Fallen. Demolisher, for example, is one of my absolute favorite designs. Absolute favorite. Demolisher should have gotten a leader class figure. I hope someday when Bayformers is revisited by Hasbro and Takara Tomy that they make a Demolisher, full-sized leader class. I want them to make that. I would buy that. If they could do a leader class Blackout from the first movie, I'd get him too. But also, even though they look like Lamia on wheels or mermaids or something like that, I like the RC triplets. Those were interesting. The twins have the ugliest heads of any Bayformer. They actually displaced Bumblebee as ugliest head ever. And I also like Monkey Jet. Monkey Jet does it for me because he does have extra wide torso. He does have kind of sort of longish arms, and he does have those bird-like legs. That to me is really, really cool. That is alien. It's not as alien as it could be, but if you're going to have a humanoid-shaped character, that's certainly a way to go. So, running out of time here, yeah, I really, 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 really like the visual style of Bayformers. And you know what? The first movie does it for me. I really liked Bayformers 1. Bayformers 2, yeah, I've got issues and I'm running out of time here. But the first movie was great, awesome. I can't say perfect, because it did have some rough edges, mostly in dialogue, but the first movie works for me. The second movie, okay, yeah, we need to talk about that, because there's a lot of shit that's wrong with that thing. So I hope I don't make too many waves, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person to say all these things, but I just wanted to get that out, because I'm sick and tired of having to argue with people about it all the time. And so, this is AV Unit 4A saying, thanks for tuning in.